Hey friends, Diane here. Most of what we do is habitual. Mrs. Meyer says addictions or obsessions are also habits. This is how they get started. We do something that gives us some type of reward, then we are tempted to do it again and again and again. It is that repetition, even if the reward stops, that forms the habit which then we cannot control. She lovingly says, addictions control us. Yet there was a time when it didn't, and we could have stopped the habits from forming. But no guilt. Don't focus on what we did wrong. Regret steals what we need to get a breakthrough. We can be sorry, but then go on. The enemy uses regret to try and keep us from changing. We say something like, "Oh, how I wasted the last 40 years when I could have been living by good habits instead." But then she says, well, don't waste the next 40 years. Again, with the grace of God, start now to make good habits that will replace those bad ones, which will lead to the healthier life both you and God desires. It is because of our fallen nature that bad habits form easier, but they are so hard to break once they are formed. She says we must learn to resist the devil at his onset. The moment we think, this is getting out of hand, before it becomes a habit. For instance, we all know it's easier to gain weight than to lose it, right? So we must pay attention. If we begin to gain a pound or two, then stop whatever we are doing before it becomes a mindless activity that will lead to a lot of weight gain. Thankfully, God doesn't just see where you are, but sees where you're going to be, she says. We need to view ourselves the way God does, works in progress. Our part is to work with God and allow Him to help us progress. To be more and more like Him is the forward movement we should be seeking with every thought, word, and action. So I challenge us. Let's pick one good habit to begin developing this week. Leave me a comment below on what you are committing to do, and then start today. Remember, we are not doing this alone. Pray over every step of the way and just keep doing that good thing until you don't have to think about it at all. God is more than pleased to help us. But then, let's not forget to praise Him for our progress. Have a great Sunday. We'll continue tomorrow.